Boundaries versus being alone. It's a line we all walk. We all know the feeling. You need to protect your peace. You need a break from the noise. So you pull back, you might block a number, you might unfriend someone on social media, you might just stop answering the phone when a certain name pops up. These actions can feel necessary. They can feel like self-preservation. And sometimes, they absolutely are. They are the armor you need to heal from a wound, or to shield yourself from ongoing harm. It's a way of saying this far and no further. That is a powerful and healthy thing to do. But there is another side to this coin. There is a point where protection can start to look a lot like isolation. When does that fortress you built to keep you safe become a prison that keeps you lonely? People cut ties for a host of reasons. Many of them are completely valid. The most immediate and urgent reason is safety. This is non-negotiable. If someone is causing you physical harm, emotional harm, psychological harm, creating distance is not just an option, it is a necessity. This is self-preservation. You remove yourself from a toxic or dangerous environment to stop the damage. Then you begin the process of healing. Cutting someone off in these cases is an act of profound self-care. It's a declaration that your safety and sanity matter more than keeping a harmful connection. Another significant reason is your core values. You have a personal code that defines who you are. When someone repeatedly violates those principles, it creates a deep conflict. Maybe it's a friend who's constantly dishonest, or a family member expressing views you find deeply intolerant. Staying can feel like betraying yourself. When you decide to cut someone out of your life, it can feel like a definitive, powerful act, a necessary closing of a door. But what if, in doing so, you're not just shutting the door on one person, but on the possibility of connection itself? What if the lock you're turning isn't just securing you from a specific harm, but is slowly sealing you off from the world? This is a subtle but absolutely critical distinction, one that lies at the very heart of our emotional well-being. It's the difference between a healthy boundary and a self-imposed prison. On one hand, you have the temporary, necessary retreat. This is a conscious choice to step back from a relationship that is actively causing you harm, a relationship that is toxic, draining, or abusive. It's like taking shelter during a storm. You're not abandoning the world. You're protecting yourself so you can re-engage with it later, stronger and safer. On the other hand, you have a permanent, habitual withdrawal from the world. This isn't a strategic retreat. It's a pattern of disengagement. It's a default response to any conflict, discomfort, or perceived threat. It's the belief that safety can only be found in total solitude. This is the question we are exploring today, and it's one of the most important you can ask yourself. When is cutting people out of your life a move toward health and stability? A courageous act of self-preservation that clears the way for better things? And when is it a symptom of something deeper? A trauma response, an attachment wound, a fear of intimacy, a pattern that might be hurting you more than it helps by reinforcing the belief that you are fundamentally alone? It's not always easy to tell the difference, especially in the beginning. The initial emotional landscape can look remarkably similar. The feelings can be similar at first, because both actions often stem from a place of pain. There's an immediate sense of relief. The phone stops ringing. The arguments cease. The constant tension that was humming beneath the surface of your days finally goes silent. Then comes the quiet, a profound stillness that can feel like peace. Your nervous system, which may have been on high alert for months or even years, finally gets a chance to stand down. And with that quiet comes a sense of control. You've made a decision. You've taken action. You are no longer a passive recipient of someone else's behavior. You are the architect of your own peace. In that moment, both the boundary setter and the isolator feel empowered. But this is where the paths diverge. The long-term outcomes are vastly different. The initial relief is real in both cases, but what it grows into is what truly matters. One path, the path of healthy boundaries, leads to stronger, more authentic relationships built on respect. When you remove a source of toxicity, you create a vacuum. Healthy boundary setting is about consciously filling that vacuum with better connections. You have more energy for the people who value you. You learn what you will and will not tolerate, and you attract others who respect those terms. Your relationships become deeper, not fewer. The other path, the path of isolation, can lead to a profound and creeping sense of loneliness. The initial quiet stops feeling peaceful and starts to feel empty. You've created an echo chamber where your only company is your own unresolved pain, your own anxieties, your own negative self-talk. The belief that people are dangerous becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you never give anyone the chance to prove you wrong. Understanding this difference is not just an intellectual exercise, it is crucial for your well-being. It's about moving from a reactive state of self-protection to a proactive state of self-curation. It is about learning to be a good guardian of your own heart. Think about what that means. A guardian isn't just a soldier standing guard. A guardian is also a gardener, a caretaker. A good guardian knows when to lock the gate to keep danger out. They can identify a threat, disrespect, manipulation, cruelty, and they take decisive action to protect the vulnerable space within. This is the boundary. But they also know when to open it. They know that the garden inside needs sunlight, water, and nutrients to thrive. It needs visitors who will appreciate its beauty and help it grow. A guardian who keeps the gate locked forever, afraid of any and all outside influence, will ultimately preside over a barren, lifeless patch of dirt. They know when to open it to let the good things in. So what does a healthy boundary look like in practice? It's not about building an impenetrable wall. It's more like installing a gate with a clear lock. A healthy boundary is characterized above all by clarity. Calm. It is not an emotional outburst. It is not a dramatic exit. It is a deliberate and thoughtful communication of your needs. What you need, what you will not tolerate, shouting, shaming, blaming. I cannot continue this conversation when you are yelling. Let's talk later when we can both be calm. The focus is on the behavior, not on attacking the person. Healthy boundaries are also flexible, not rigid. They acknowledge that people and situations can change. You might set a boundary that requires space for a week, not forever. Isolation, on the other hand, often masquerades as strength. It can feel like you are taking a powerful stand when in reality, you are retreating into a fortress of fear. One of the clearest signs of isolation is its rigidity and finality. It doesn't just create distance, it scorches the earth. There is no room for conversation, no chance for repair, no path back. You block them on every platform. You tell mutual friends you don't want to hear their name. The goal is not just to create space, but to erase the person entirely. This all-or-nothing approach is often a red flag that the action is driven by an inability to tolerate difficult emotions. Another sign is the feeling that accompanies the act. While a healthy boundary brings a sense of calm relief, isolation is often fueled by a cold, brittle pride. You might feel a surge of power in the act of cutting someone off, a sense of being done with them. So, we've established the crucial difference between a boundary that protects and a wall that isolates. But that brings us to the most difficult part of this entire process. In the heat of the moment, when your heart is pounding and your mind is racing, how can you tell the difference? How do you know if you are acting out of a genuine, present-moment need for protection or from an ingrained, almost automatic habit of avoidance? It's a question that can feel impossible to answer when you're feeling overwhelmed. The signals can get crossed, and what feels like self-preservation might actually be self-sabotage in disguise. This is where the real work begins. Learning to pause, to question our own impulses, and to develop the skill of self-awareness. It's not about judging yourself, it's about understanding yourself. To help you navigate this, there are a few simple, practical checks you can perform to bring some clarity to your decision. Think of these as tools for your emotional toolkit, designed to help you recalibrate your internal compass when you feel lost. The first and most important check is about your motivation. This requires you to become a gentle detective of your own inner world. Before you act, before you send that text or cancel those plans, take a quiet moment. If you can, step away from the situation. Go to another room, take a short walk, or just close your eyes for 60 seconds. And in that space, ask yourself with genuine curiosity, why am I doing this? What is the engine driving this decision right now? Be specific with your answer. Am I trying to stop a clear and present harm? Is someone's behavior actively causing me emotional, financial, or physical damage right now? For instance, is my partner yelling at me? Is a friend repeatedly ignoring my requests and making me feel unsafe? Is a family member's addiction creating chaos in my home? These are tangible harms. An action taken to stop them, to create safety, is a boundary. It's a necessary act of self-preservation. Or, and this is the crucial distinction, am I trying to avoid feeling an uncomfortable emotion? Am I trying to sidestep the possibility of disappointment, the sting of rejection, the tremor of fear, or the weight of sadness? Avoidance is often about preempting a feeling we're afraid we can't handle. For example, you might cancel a date not because the person is dangerous, but because you're afraid of being disappointed or feeling awkward. You might avoid a difficult conversation with your boss not because they are abusive, but because you're terrified of the conflict and the anxiety it produces. Disappointment, fear, sadness? The answer can be incredibly revealing. An action to stop harm is a boundary. An action to numb or preemptively avoid a feeling is often a habit of avoidance. One builds your sense of agency and self-respect. The other reinforces the belief that you are too fragile to handle your own emotional life. The second check involves your ability to explain your reasoning. This is about moving from a purely emotional reaction to a conscious, rational choice. Try to articulate your decision, even if only to yourself at first. Can you distill your reason into a clear, simple statement? A healthy boundary can usually be explained in a simple, rational sentence that starts with "I" and states a need or a limit related to a specific behavior. For example, I need to take space from our friendship because his drinking has become unsafe, and I can't be around that behavior. Or, I cannot be in a friendship with someone who consistently lies to me because trust is essential for me. Notice how these statements are clear. They are not attacks. They link a specific harmful behavior to your action. They are about you and your needs, not about punishing the other person. Another example, I need to leave this party now because I am feeling overwhelmed and need a quiet environment. That is a boundary that honors your capacity. Now, contrast that clarity with the language of avoidance. If your reasoning feels foggy, chaotic, or purely emotional, it's a red flag. If the only explanation you can find is a vague sense of panic, or a statement like, "I just can't deal with this," or "it's just too much," that might be an old habit, not a conscious choice. This kind of thinking is often a sign that your nervous system is in overdrive, reacting from a place of past trauma rather than present reality. The reasoning is circular. I feel anxious, so I must get away. Getting away is the only way to stop feeling anxious. It's a loop that doesn't solve the underlying issue. It just postpones the feeling. So, to recap, these two checks are your first line of inquiry. First, ask, am I stopping a clear harm or am I avoiding a difficult feeling? And second, ask, can I explain my decision in a simple, rational sentence? If you're stopping harm and can state your reason clearly, you are likely setting a healthy, necessary boundary. If you're just trying to dodge an emotion and your reasoning is a chaotic fog, you are likely falling back on an old habit of avoidance. This distinction is the foundation. Mastering it takes time and repetition, but it is the key to reclaiming your power and building relationships based on respect, not fear. It's one thing to set a boundary in a specific, difficult situation. It's another when cutting people off becomes your go-to move for any kind of conflict. This is when it's time to ask if you are dealing with a habit. A habit is a reaction that has become automatic. It's a path you've taken so many times it no longer feels like a choice. To see if this applies, look at your own history with an honest eye. Friendships, romantic partners, even jobs. Do you see a recurring pattern of sudden exits? Start by playing the tape back. Think of the last few significant connections you ended. How did they end? Was there a conversation, or did you just disappear? Did you leave a job by storming out after a disagreement? Did you end a friendship by blocking their number after a minor argument? If your response to conflict is to sever ties quickly, that's a powerful clue. A pattern of flight often hides fear of confrontation or being rejected, so we've explored the why. Now let's get into the how. How do you actually have these conversations? The theory of boundaries is one thing. Sitting across from someone you care about and changing the terms of your relationship is another entirely. It can feel like preparing for battle, but it doesn't have to. The key is to shift your mindset from confrontation to collaboration. You're not there to win a fight, you're there to build a bridge back to a healthier connection. Let's start with the first step, initiating the conversation. The goal here is not to solve years of history in one sitting. It's simply to reopen the lines of communication in a way that feels safe and structured. You might say something like, "I'd like to talk about what happened last week. Is now a good time, or can we set aside 20 minutes tomorrow?" This immediately establishes a container. It's not an endless, emotionally draining marathon. It's a focused, manageable chat. The goal isn't to solve everything, it's to reopen communication. Once you're in the conversation, the single most powerful tool you have is the I statement. This isn't just a therapy cliché, it's a fundamental shift in communication. It moves the focus from blame to personal experience. When you say, "You hurt me," the other person's defenses immediately go up. They hear an accusation and prepare to argue the facts. But when you say, "I felt hurt when that happened," you are stating an indisputable truth about your own emotional reality. No one can argue with how you felt. This simple change is disarming. It invites empathy instead of defensiveness. The formula is simple. I feel your emotion when the specific observable behavior because the impact it has on you. For example, instead of, "You're so dismissive," try, "I feel unheard when I'm sharing something important, and I see you looking at your phone because it makes me feel like my experiences don't matter to you." It's not an attack. It's an invitation to understand your world. This leads directly to our next principle. Be specific about what needs to change. Vague requests are the enemy of progress. A request like, "I need you to be nicer," is impossible to fulfill because nicer means different things to different people. It's a setup for failure. A specific actionable request, however, provides a clear roadmap. So, be nicer is vague. "I need you to stop making jokes about my job" is concrete. Think of it as giving someone the answer to the test. Instead of "respect my time," try, "I need you to text me if you're going to be more than 10 minutes late." Instead of "give me some space," try, "when I come home from work, I need about 30 minutes to myself to decompress before we start talking about household tasks." Specificity is kindness. It replaces mind reading with a clear and achievable request, making it far more likely that your needs will actually be met. After you've stated your need, it's time to test the waters. Trust isn't rebuilt overnight. It's rebuilt in small, consistent increments. Create a small test, a low-stakes experiment to see if the other person is willing and able to respect the new boundary. If the issue was constant criticism, agree to have one conversation that is free of any critique. If the issue was unreliability, plan to meet for 30 minutes for a coffee and see if they show up on time. After this small test, check in with yourself. See how it feels. Did they follow through? Did you feel a sense of relief? A flicker of safety? Is trust growing? Or did they fall back into the old pattern, leaving you feeling disappointed again? This data is crucial. It tells you whether you're on a path toward repair or if a stronger boundary is needed. If you need more space, offer time frames and a path back. A declaration of indefinite silence can feel like a punishment, causing panic and escalation. A defined pause, however, feels like a process. You could say, "I'm feeling overwhelmed and need some space to process. I'm going to take the next 2 weeks for myself, and I'll reach out then to schedule a time to talk." This turns scary silence into a defined pause. It honors your need for space while also offering reassurance that the connection isn't severed forever. It provides structure and hope. Above all, keep it simple and present-focused. Resist the urge to bring up a laundry list of every mistake from the past 10 years. That will only derail the conversation. Stick to one recent, specific example. Clear, calm, and actionable beats a long lecture every time. These steps aren't about controlling the other person. They're about clarifying what you need to feel respected and safe. They create a framework for respect and reduce misunderstandings. Now, we have to address a difficult truth. These strategies work when there is a foundation of care and a mutual desire for connection, even if it's buried under layers of hurt. But they will not work with everyone. Your safety, physical, mental, emotional, is the top priority. Some people cause profound harm and show no willingness to change. They may consistently ignore your boundaries, manipulate your words, or deny your reality. In these relationships, attempting to set softer boundaries can feel like trying to build a sandcastle against a tidal wave. In those cases, a permanent boundary is the healthiest choice. This is often what we call no contact. It's not a punishment. It's a profound act of self-preservation. It's an acknowledgement that you cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. Cutting ties for good is not a failure. Let me repeat that. It is not a failure. It is the final, most powerful boundary you can set. It's you, choosing you. It's a courageous decision to stop waiting for someone else to change and to instead give yourself the peace and safety you deserve. The silence that follows can be deafening at first. You may have been conditioned to equate their presence, even a painful one, with normalcy. Your job now is to fill the quiet with nourishing routines, get consistent sleep, prepare food that makes you feel good, move your body in ways that feel joyful, not punishing. Reconnect with the people who see you and celebrate you. Let support in. This is the work of building a life that is so full and vibrant on its own, that the absence of toxicity becomes a peaceful quiet, not an empty one. This is how you reclaim your energy and your life. Ultimately, we're all striving for a delicate balance. Humans are social creatures. We need connection. We need to feel seen, heard, and cared for by others. At the same time, we need to protect ourselves from harm. Cutting someone off is a powerful tool. It can be life-saving. But use it with wisdom and intention, not as a blunt instrument. Think boundaries as a gate, not a fortress. A gate welcomes the good and locks out the harmful. You are the gatekeeper. You decide who enters and under what conditions. When you feel the impulse to shut someone out, pause. Take a breath. Ask, am I guarding my gate or building another wall? Am I protecting my peace or pushing away a chance for growth? Is this a clear danger now or a ghost from my past? Build a life rich with authentic connections you can sustain. Use boundaries to cultivate a garden, not to build a prison. Be firm when needed. Be brave enough to be vulnerable when it's safe. Subscribe for deep psychology insights that help you understand behavior, emotions, and relationships. Like this video if you've ever had to protect your peace. Save it so you can reflect on your own relationships. Turn on notifications for more real psychology that hits different.